Welcome. Today we're together to honor our fallen officers for the 2018 Craven County Law Enforcement Officers Memorial. Now if I could get all of our guests and all of our officers to stand for the presentation of colors.
Halt. Left. Face. Freeze at colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Honor guard, post colors.
Left. Face. Over.
There's very little introduction needed for our guest speaker. He is well known and well respected throughout our community and the state. He was born and raised here in Craven County. He graduated from East Carolina University with a bachelor's degree in political science and was elected to serve as president of the ECU Student Government Association. In continuing the pursuit of his dreams and goals, he attended North Carolina Central University School of Law, where he graduated with his Juris Doctorate degree in law. Upon obtaining his professional law degree, he served as a law clerk to a North Carolina Supreme Court justice, and then returned to Craven County, where he was an assistant district attorney. He was an attorney with a private practice for 12 years, while also serving as a state representative and a state senator for 7 of those years. During his time as a North Carolina senator, he was chair of the Justice and Public Safety Appropriations Subcommittee and vice chair of the Judiciary Committee. On January 30th, 2006, he was sworn in as a district attorney for District 3B Prosecutorial District, which includes the counties of Craven, Pamlico, and Jones. While serving as a district attorney, he was appointed as chair of Governor's Crime Commission and elected as president of the North Carolina Conference of District Attorney. Even after completing his term as president, he continues to serve on the executive committee. I believe that this bio describes our guest speaker very well, his dedication to our state and our community. And I'm glad to bring up District Attorney Scott Thomas.
It's an honor to be here with you today to speak for our annual Law Enforcement Memorial Service. We join people all over the United States as we recognize Peace Officers Memorial Day and Police Week. This is the time in May of each year that we honor law enforcement who died in the line of duty and recognize those who continue to serve. Locally, we honor and remember our own law enforcement officers who've fallen in the line of duty. Our officers who we honor and recognize for their service and their families who are here with us today. We recognize their families because these men were more than just law enforcement officers. They were sons, brothers, husbands, friends, and much, much more. These men were very talented and could most likely have done anything they wanted to with a career choice. Some had prior service in the military, but they chose to dedicate themselves to public service through law enforcement as law enforcement officers in our county. They did this because they wanted to not only serve and protect their own families, but they wanted to serve and protect all of our families here in this county. For these officers' ultimate service and sacrifice, we say to their families, thank you. And to those officers currently serving, you honor our fallen officers by the service you continue to do in this community on a daily basis. Law enforcement is not for everyone. It takes a special person to actually be a law enforcement officer, not only here, but nationwide. Law enforcement officers are strong on common sense. They have enough discipline to conquer their fear in the face of severe danger, and they understand that every vehicle stopped and every call answered could be their last. The Law Enforcement Code of Ethics states an officer is to serve the community, safeguard lives and property, protect innocent against deception, the weak against oppression and intimidation, the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. Law enforcement is a profession that demands honor, integrity, service, and yes, sacrifice. The dangers faced by law enforcement officers for our safety are not truly appreciated by some. Unfortunately, many do not make the connection between the law enforcement service and sacrifice and our safety until an actual tragedy occurs. There was a time when injuries and deaths to law enforcement officers were primarily due to times when they were actively engaged with suspects of a crime. Now, we see attacks and deaths just because officers wear the badge. Attacks from criminals who have no respect for the rule of law and those who represent the rule of law. A badge is defined as a device, often containing the insignia of an organization, presented as a symbol of authority upon taking an oath of office. The badge of a law enforcement officer is a special symbol that represents law and order. It represents peace over terror. It represents security over fear. And it represents resolve to serve others above one's own self. The badge is a symbol of authority. It shows you have the power to act on behalf of the government, and you can arrest, interrogate, and actually deny a person of their freedom. The badge is a symbol of respect. It says you're a person of character who is worthy to act on behalf of the people. It says your actions in the community and your testimony in court can be trusted. It says you understand that no one is above the law and no one is beneath its protection. It says you understand that in order to be respected, you must respect other people. The badge is a symbol of tough enforcement for dangerous criminals. It puts criminals on notice that you stand for justice, that you have the education, the training, and the experience to carry out your duties in an effective manner. But we understand the badge symbolizes even more than authority, respect, and tough enforcement. It's also a symbol of community engagement. It represents caring, compassion, understanding. And it represents a comprehensive approach to law enforcement. It's an approach that involves building and maintaining safer communities. That approach, we now understand, includes education, prevention, treatment, and community involvement. We know the best way to serve potential victims of crime is to prevent crimes from occurring in the first place. Our law enforcement agencies know that if we want to be better understood, then we must better understand the members of our community and be active in those communities. The agencies in this county, I'm proud to say, engage in a number of community outreach efforts throughout New Bern and Craven County. They do that in ways such as Community Watch, public information sessions, school resource officers, the DARE program, Citizen Police Academy, Do the Right Thing program, Coffee with a Cop, faith-based partnerships such as the Peace and Unity Weekend, and youth recreation leagues, just to name a few. So you can see here in New Bern and Craven County, our agencies understand how to do law enforcement right. Our agencies are working hard not only to fight crime, but to prevent crime from occurring in the first place. So in closing, I'd like to recognize again our fallen officers by expressing our gratitude for their brave service to their community. And to those officers who remain active, always remember, you and your badge represent authority, respect, tough enforcement, community engagement, but you also represent the fallen officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our safety and security. Thank you.
At this time, we will call for the presentation of the wreath.
Deputy William E. Toby Taylor, in the watch, November 19, 1963. Deputy Taylor was killed when he was struck by another vehicle while investigating an automobile accident. He was 45 years old at the time of his death. Jeffrey Allen Matheny, in the watch, October 21st, 2000. Deputy Matheny was killed as his cruiser was struck by another vehicle that fled the scene. The driver for the suspect vehicle turned himself in several days later. Deputy Matheny was a former U.S. Marine and at the current time was serving as the Craven County deputy for 3 years when he was killed. He is survived by his sons.
Sgt Carl Mayer. Carlos Mayer from Campbell County was born in May 1927. He prestigiously served our country in the United States Marine Corps prior to beginning his career with the New Bern Police Department. Carl was promoted to the rank of sergeant and was a supervisor assigned to the New Bern Traffic Unit. Sergeant Mayo was described by those he served with as compassionate and loyal. Sergeant Mayo was also a motor officer and served in that capacity until his end of watch on May 29, 1960, at the age of 33. Sergeant Mayer was responding to a call for service when he was involved in a motorcycle crash. At the time of his passing, he was survived by his wife, 3-year-old son, and 2 daughters ages 4 and 6 months. Detective Donald M. Miller. Donald Miller, better known to his friends as Don, from Pennsylvania, was born in 1968. He previously served our country in the United States Army. After relocating to North Carolina, Don served with the Wilmington Police Department and continued his career with the New Bern Police Department in December of 1997. Don was known for his athletic competitiveness. He loved to work out regularly and competed in Ironman contests and triathlons. Rest is rust, is what Don would say. Don is also remembered for his loyalty and his charismatic and compassionate personality. Don served as a narcotics detective with the Criminal Investigative Division until his end of watch December 25th, 2001, at the age of 33. Don encountered a suspect driving erratically in the parking lot of New Hanover Regional Medical Center, drawing his attention. When Detective Miller confronted the suspect, he brandished firearms and struck Detective Miller. Detective Miller succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. At the time of his passing, he was survived by his wife, 2 sons who were at that time 4 years of age and 10 days old. Officer Alexander E. Coleman. Alexander Thalman, also known better to his friends as Alex. He's originally from San Bernardino, California, and was born in February 1992. Alex and his mother, Stacy, moved to Washington Park, North Carolina in 1994. In May of 2011, Alex made a commitment to proceed to serve our country in the United States Marine Corps. In August of 2013, Alex would continue his service to his community and join the Newton Police Department. Alex was remembered by most as having a funny, carefree personality. In his short 7 months with the department, Alex built deep and lasting relationships. He was considered highly motivated and a proactive officer, always getting into something. Officer Thalman was assigned to the Operations Division, Patrol Team 3, until his end of watch on March 31st, 2014. At the age of 22. Officer Thalman was conducting an investigation with a bicyclist when he called for assistance. When officers arrived, the suspect fled on foot. Officer Thalman and 2 officers gave chase. During the pursuit that followed, the suspect fired upon Officer Thalman, incapacitated. One of the responding officers returned fire, killing the suspect. Officer Thalman succumbed to his injuries 3 days later. At the time of his passing, he was survived by his mother, 2 sisters, and brother.
You may retire the wreath. Now, if I could direct your attention to the side for a special presentation to the New Bern Police Department by Captain McKibbins.
My husband, Tom McKibben, and myself, my husband made this flag in memorial for the officers that are fallen, and former officer Dan Clark and his wife Mary gave us the resources to make this flag, and we want to present it to the New Bern Police Department. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and you're dismissed. Help yourself to coffee and donuts to the side. Again, love our families.